Alright, programmers and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do lesson 3, the platform jumper. We're going to use random numbers to get random behavior. Okay, so the red text means stop, you know this. Green text means go, do something. Alright, here's what we should have so far, and if you don't have this, let's fix that. Alright, so you should have your world with the background that you made. You should have a jumper class with a subclass of enemies and a jumper class with a subclass of your good guy. Your good guy should have a good name and start with a capital letter. And then under enemies, this is where you're going to put subclasses of your enemies. So I have a rat, a little baby rat, and then a big rat named Nicodemus. So if you don't have that, fix that and I'll help you do it. Okay, and then the other thing you should have so far is you should have a subclass of jumper, or subclass of actor called platforms, and then your ground and your scaffolding and your conveyor belts and all the things that your guy's going to stand on goes there. Okay, if you don't have that, fix that. Now the other thing you should have is, apparently I need to compile this. Okay, so the other thing you should have is when you hit run, your bad guy should move to the right, and also this guy should move to the right, but that's easy. Okay, so if you look inside, your act method should look something like this: private int speed equals 5 right here after the class header, and then right here you should say move right speed, something like that. Okay, and it should move right. You should have the same sort of thing in your good guy, so he should move right as well. Okay, fix that. If you don't have that so far, here's a list of what we need so far as well. You can read it. Okay, so we need to use random behavior. Our current enemy only moves right. We need random behavior to make him move back and forth. Greenfoot, as you know, has the getRandomNumber method, but it's located in the Greenfoot class. We don't have access to it. So therefore, we're going to use the dot notation to access the getRandomNumber method that exists in a class we don't have access to. All right, so let's use the getRandomNumber method to make the bad guy move right and left randomly. All right, now write this down. From now on, when we want to teach someone or a class something new, number 1, we write the method call first. Number 2, create a method definition placeholder. Number 3, make comments. And then finally, when we're ready, we write the code. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this to give random movement to our guy. So look, we're going to open up our bad guy. My guy's name is Nicodemus. And again, you're going to hit enter right after your public class Nicodemus or whatever your bad guy's name is, and then you're going to say private int speed equals 5. What we're doing here is we're creating a box in the RAM called speed. The only thing that can go into it is an integer whole number, and then we're filling that box with a 5. This is called a method. I just lost the term of it. Hold on, it'll come to me. This is called an instance variable declaration and initialization. So this thing called speed is an instance variable. Okay, now, so right now we have move right speed, right? Well, look, if we can change, right now speed is equal to 5. If we could change that 5 to a -5, we could get him to move left. And if we can change it back to a +5, we can get him to go right. So by toggling or flip-flopping this speed from positive to negative, we can make him move randomly, right? Okay, so let's figure out, so according to our new technique, we're going to write our method call first. So we're going to say change direction, parentheses, parentheses, semicolon, right? Now look what happens. We hit compile, and hey, I can't find the method called change direction. I don't know how to do this. Okay, so we got to teach him how to. So we're going to go, here's our act method, opening bracket, ending bracket. We're going to hit enter, and we're going to say public void, right? Is this a command or a question? This is a command. We want them to change direction. It's a command, so it's going to be void, and then we're going to say change direction. Okay, so parentheses, parentheses, enter, opening bracket, closing bracket. So look, we have our placeholder here, right? Doesn't know how to do much yet. Okay, and then we're going to do this. We're going to go add our method comment, and we're going to say change direction at random times. Okay, so now look, if I hit compile, all right, we're good. You know, we're good to go. No problems. Although when I hit change direction, what's it going to do? Absolutely nothing. But this is helpful because sometimes you want to do that. You want to just say like, okay, I want to change directions at some point. I don't want it to. I want the compiler to compile it But I'm not quite ready to code this, so this is the technique we use. Then, finally, when we're ready to do this, we'll come down here and write some code. So we decided we want to flip-flop speed, right, from 5 to -5. So we're going to say something like speed equals speed times, this is simple for times, -1 semicolon. All right, so we're gonna hit compile, and we're gonna see what this does. All right, so it compiles. We're gonna add our bad guy named Nicodemus, and watch what happens. We hit run, and oh look, he's got the shaky shakes there. Why does he have the shaky shakes? Well, if you look back at this code, it's because when is he switching from 5 to -5 back to 5? All the time. There's no conditions under here. It's always doing it. It's going do it, do it, do it, do it, right? We don't always want to do it. We want to do it sometimes. That's why we talked about the get random number. So we're going to use a get random number to make it happen sometimes. So we're going to say if greenfoot dot get number. Okay, so we know that 100 is handy because it's easy to do percentages. So what percentage of the time do we want it to switch direction? Let's say we want it to do it 3%. So we say if that's less than 3, then we say our opening bracket. Oh, that's not a bracket. Opening bracket. Click here. Closing bracket. Okay, press Control, Shift, and I to align everything. Okay, so if we produce a random number and it's less than 3, so 3% of the time we're going to switch direction. Let's compile that and see if that... Oh, forgot my closing parentheses. Okay, so let's compile that and see what happens. Okay, so let's run this and see if what Nicodemus does. Okay, so he moves around. So we can change that number to if we wanted to do it less or more. Now watch this. Now watch this here. So if we get him to the edge, that's not good. So he gets to the edge and he kind of gets stuck for a while, right? So if he hits the edge of the world, we want him to switch direction too. So we're going to do the same technique that we just talked about. We're going to do the same technique we just talked about. So, no, that's not what I want. I want Nicodemus. So look, let's do the same thing. So what do we want him to do? We want him to turn at edge, right? So let's go ahead and say, okay, so we're going to say turn at edge, parentheses, parentheses, semicolon. We hit compile. Well, apparently I already taught him how to turn at edge. So let's go down and look at it. Well, let's go ahead and just write it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to say we have to teach him how to turn at edge. This is going to be different than our old turn at edge. So we're going to say public void turn at edge, parentheses, parentheses, opening bracket, enter, enter, closing bracket. Well, what do we want him to do when he turns at the edge? Okay, well, number one, we write it, and then we're going to edit, add method comments, right? So now it's going to be happy. It knows how to turn at edge even though it doesn't do much. So we're going to write a comment in here that says switch direction when you get edge of the world. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Well, we're going to just do the same thing. Speed equals speed. So we're going to hit copy. We're going to hit there and hit paste. Okay, speed equals speed times -1, and this should work just damn. All right, let's run this thing and see what it does. So we have our new notch. That's not. We don't want Nacho. We want a new Nicodemus. So let's do a new Nicodemus. Oops. Let's try that again. Let's do a new Nicodemus, and then we're going to hit run. Oh, wait a minute. We're jittering again. What have we done? All right, well, let's go back and figure out. Oh, silly us. We made the same mistake again. Okay, so he's constantly turning at edge, right? So when do we want him to turn at edge? If he's at world. If at world edge, then we want to do this. Okay, and then again, press Control Shift I. It'll make it lined up. If at world edge, let's see if that compiles. Okay, so let's put our Nicodemus in real quick. We're going to run it. Okay, let's put him over here at the edge and see what happens. Ooh, he gets stuck on the edge. Oh, you know what? Let's see. Because he's at the edge and it's constantly doing. Let's see if we got to figure out a way to stop that. Okay, so he's getting stuck on the edge, so we got to bump him off the edge, right? So turn at edge if at world edge speed equals, and then we're gonna have to move him a couple times. So we'll just copy this. We'll say move right speed. So we'll do that. We might need to do it twice just to get him off of that edge so he's not stuck. So we'll try that and see what happens. Let's compile that and see if it works. Alright, so we'll add our Nicodemus. We'll run him. There we go. So he got to the edge and it bumped him. Let's stick him right there on the edge and let's see. Oh, he got stuck again. Oh, he got off. Okay, it seems like it works unless you get him too far on. Oh, I see. He was too far into the edge. Okay, anyway, that seems to work. Okay, good. Okay, so I think that's it. We're going to go on. That's it for this one. We'll go on to the next one.